Imagine a world where every word spoken by a figure of authority carried the weight of an unbreakable promise, where every gesture was a reflection of a deeply held conviction. This is not a distant utopia, but the foundational aspiration of true leadership. In the vast landscapes of the American continent, through the bustling centers of Europe, and into the growing enterprises of Latin America, the call for authentic guidance has never been louder. Every thought, every action, and every word uttered throughout a person's life serves as a silent preparation for the moment they are called to lead. It is a journey that does not begin with a title or a promotion, but with the quiet realization that one's existence is a vessel for influence. Whether it is a volunteer group meeting in the quiet of the evening, a youth sports team gathered on a dusty field, or a large family navigating the complexities of daily life, the essence of leadership remains constant. It is the art of inspiration, the discipline of organization, and the fire of motivation. The reality of the modern era is one of profound struggle. Governments across the globe grapple with a loss of focus, finding it difficult not only to lead their nations, but even to maintain internal stability. In the corporate world, businesses of all sizes face a sea of complexity and competition so fierce that management teams often find themselves gasping for air, struggling to produce meaningful results. Even in the realm of sports and public service, the story is often the same: a lack of consistency, a revolving door of mentors, and systems pushed to their absolute limits. From hospitals operating at maximum capacity to educational systems striving for relevance, the void left by inadequate leadership is palpable. It is felt in the smallest communities and the largest multinational organizations alike. Scandals frequently emerge as grim reminders of what happens when leadership fails, leaving behind a trail of broken trust in religious institutions and fractured domestic environments. When the mind wanders toward the image of a successful leader, it might settle on a figure of global renown, someone whose every move is chronicled by the media. Yet, more often than not, the leaders who truly shape the fabric of reality are those in less prestigious but equally crucial roles. They are the managers who steady the ship during a crisis, the coordinators who ensure a child's education is sound, the heads of local associations who fight for their neighbors, or even the partners who hold a household together. The world is waiting for individuals who are willing to transform themselves into the kind of leaders others admire, not because of their power, but because of their character. This transformation is a deliberate choice, a commitment to refining habits and skills until they shine with excellence. In the journey to master this craft, many find themselves possessing a vast arsenal of tools that they never fully utilize. They cling to old weaknesses and allow their greatest advantages to gather dust. However, the path toward true excellence requires a different approach, a moment of profound self-reflection. It is an invitation to pause and consider how one wishes to grow, how one intends to develop future leaders, and ultimately how one desires to be remembered by those they have guided. The narrative of leadership is not just about the present, it is about the legacy left in the hearts of others. As this exploration begins, one must ask, what is the invisible thread that connects a leader's internal world to their external impact? The answer lies in a principle so fundamental that its absence can dismantle the strongest empire, yet its presence can turn a simple idea into a movement. It is the silent heartbeat of credibility, and it begins with a single, uncompromising alignment.
The foundation of influence is built upon a delicate alignment, a harmony where thoughts, words, and actions move in perfect synchronicity. When a leader asks their team to behave in a certain way, they are setting a standard. But that standard is not merely a verbal instruction, it is a living contract. If the leader fails to uphold their end of that contract by doing the exact opposite of what they requested, the bond of leadership begins to fray. It does not matter if the contradiction is intentional or accidental. The result is a swift and devastating erosion of credibility. Trust is a currency that is earned in droplets and lost in buckets. Once a manager displays behavior that contradicts their mandates, they are no longer leading people. They are merely managing a group of individuals who are waiting for the next sign of hypocrisy. Consider the atmosphere of a workplace where a leader insists on the importance of transparency. They gather their subordinates and encourage them to be frank, to share their boldest ideas, and to speak their truths without fear. Yet, behind closed doors, this same leader keeps vital information a secret,
withholding the very context the team needs to succeed. In this environment, the words of the leader become hollow echoes. The team quickly learns that frankness is a one-way street, and the psychological safety required for innovation vanishes. The tension in the room becomes palpable, a silent acknowledgement that the leader's public persona is a mask that does not match their private actions. This dissonance often manifests in the smallest, seemingly trivial details of daily operations. A leader might insist that every member of the team arrive at meetings precisely on time, emphasizing that punctuality is a sign of respect for the collective effort. However, if that same leader is consistently the last to arrive, lounging into the room with excuses, or worse, with no explanation at all, they send a message far louder than their verbal instructions. They signal that their time is more valuable than the team's, and that the rules they dictate do not apply to them. In the eyes of the followers, the leader has placed themselves above the common law of the organization, creating a divide that breeds resentment and apathy. Perhaps more damaging is the leader who persuades their team to pour their energy into a new initiative, speaking passionately about its potential to transform the company's future in the American continent or beyond. While the team works late hours and makes personal sacrifices to support this vision, the leader might be secretly undermining the project behind the scenes, perhaps out of political convenience or a change of heart they haven't shared. This form of duplicity is a betrayal of the collective spirit. It forces the team to fight for a cause that their own general is already abandoning. The question then becomes, why should anyone follow a guide who is secretly leading them toward a cliff? The struggle of the modern leader is not just about navigating external competition. It is about the internal battle to remain whole, to ensure that the person who speaks at the podium is the same person who acts in the shadows. This lack of alignment creates a culture of observation, where employees are constantly scanning for inconsistencies. They notice when a leader becomes irate because a subordinate failed to catch a minor error, yet the leader themselves refuses to acknowledge or correct their own mistakes. They see the harsh reprimand given to a colleague for a slight exaggeration on a travel expense report, while the leader quietly inflates their own costs, justifying it to themselves as a perk of their position. These are not just administrative failings, they are symptoms of an ethical void. When a leader acts with integrity in small matters, it serves as a warning that they will likely fail when faced with serious moral challenges. The central conflict of leadership is thus revealed. Can one truly lead others if they cannot first lead themselves into a state of uncompromising honesty?
The deepening of a leader's character occurs in the crucible of these everyday choices. To work with someone who is perceived as dissimulated is a draining experience, one that saps the creative energy of even the most dedicated professional. When the person at the helm says one thing but does another, where individuals protect themselves rather than pursuing the common goal. In the narrative of successful leadership, integrity is not an abstract concept, but a visible practice. It is the alignment of the preacher with the practice. Those who have reached the heights of success in Europe, in England, or in the corporate towers of major cities understand that their choices are the most powerful form of communication they possess. They recognize that their behaviors are the blueprints from which their followers build their own professional identities. If a leader values persistence, they do not just speak of it in annual reviews, they demonstrate it during the long, difficult stretches of a project when the outcome is uncertain. If they want a team that is strategic and forward-thinking, they must be seen engaging in that deep work themselves, rather than getting bogged down in reactive, short-term firefighting. This level of modeling is not always easy. It requires a conscious effort to be a standards bearer for excellence. It means showing up with the same intensity and focus that is expected of the lowest-ranking member of the organization. When a leader acts as an admirable model, they create a magnetic pull. Their team begins to emulate their behavior not because they are told to, but because they see the efficacy and the dignity in that way of working. This is the essence of leading by example. It is a silent invitation to rise to a higher level of performance. Even when the leader finds it difficult, the mere fact that they are visibly trying, that they are struggling alongside the team to uphold these values, serves as a powerful motivator. It proves that the standards are real and that they matter. There is a profound emotional subtext in the relationship between a leader and their followers. It is built on the belief that the leader is a person of their word. When this belief is intact, the team can endure great hardships and take significant risks because they know their leader is standing on the same ground. However, when the leader's actions deviate from their words, that ground begins to crumble. The symbol of the leader as a protector and visionary is replaced by the image of a manipulator. This shift is often irreversible. The intellectual progression of a leader must therefore involve a constant audit of their own actions. They must ask, does my schedule reflect my stated priorities? Do my interactions reflect my stated values? Do my personal habits reflect the culture I am trying to build?
Reflecting on these questions allows a leader to see the gaps before they become chasms. It requires an honesty that many are afraid to face. It is far easier to demand perfection from others than to cultivate it in oneself. Yet the narrative of success is clear. Those who are admired, those who are followed with genuine loyalty, are those whose lives are a seamless garment. They do not have a public face and a private face that contradict one another. They understand that leadership is not a performance, but a state of being. As the tension between expectations and reality builds, the leader arrives at a critical juncture where they must decide whether to continue the charade or to embrace a new level of authenticity that will redefine their entire trajectory.
A turning point arrives in every leader's life when they must confront the reality of their own limitations and the impact of their inconsistencies. This is the climax of the internal journey, a moment where the weight of expectations meets the fragility of human nature. There will inevitably be occasions where a leader finds themselves asking their team to act in a way that they, at that moment, are not. Perhaps the leader is not naturally detail-oriented, yet the success of a vital project in the American continent depends on meticulous precision. They find themselves in a paradox. How can they demand a quality they themselves struggle to manifest? The traditional, outdated model of leadership suggests they should hide this flaw, maintaining an aura of infallible perfection. But the modern, successful leader knows that this path leads only to further distrust. The revelation that changes everything is the power of honesty regarding one's own shortcomings. Instead of pretending to be what they are not, the leader chooses to be transparent. They stand before their team and admit, "I need you to be focused on the details, because I know that I often struggle to see the small things. I am working on it, but your strength in this area is what will save us." In this moment, the trajectory of the narrative shifts from one of authority to one of partnership. By admitting a weakness, the leader demonstrates a profound vulnerability. This is not a sign of failure, but a testament to their integrity. It shows that they value the truth more than their own ego. This act of vulnerability is an emotionally gripping sequence in the life of an organization. It breaks the cycle of dissimulation. When a leader is honest about their gaps, it gives the team permission to be honest about theirs. It creates a culture where mistakes can be discussed openly and where support is offered rather than blame. The team's reaction to such frankness is often one of overwhelming support. They do not see a weakened leader. They see a human one. They see someone who is aligned because their words about honesty are finally matched by an honest act. The goals of the enterprise and the goals of the individual become one, fused together by the heat of this authentic moment. This realization redefines the very meaning of the word leader. It is no longer about being the person who has all the answers or who possesses every skill. It is about being the person who ensures that the right standards are upheld, starting with the standard of truth. The climax of this realization is the understanding that ethics and integrity are not just about avoiding major scandals or financial crimes. They are woven into the fabric of daily interactions, the way a leader handles a mistake, the way they account for their time, and the way they speak about those who are not in the room. In the silence that follows such a revelation, there is a sense of clarity. The leader no longer has to maintain a complex web of different personas. They can simply be who they are, working toward who they want to become. This transition into clarity is where true power resides. It is the moment where the leader stops trying to act like a leader and begins to be one. The consequences of this shift are immediate. The team feels the change in the atmosphere. The cynicism that once poisoned the air begins to dissipate, replaced by a sense of shared purpose. The leader has crossed a threshold, moving from a position of mere power to one of genuine authority, an authority that is granted by the followers because they trust the source. The aftermath of this turning point is not a return to the status quo, but the beginning of a new chapter where excellence is not a demand, but a shared pursuit. The aftermath of choosing alignment over pretense is a period of quiet but profound transformation. As the leader begins to consistently match their actions to their words, the ripples are felt throughout the entire structure of the organization. It is as if a misaligned machine has suddenly been calibrated. The friction that once slowed everything down is replaced by a smooth, efficient momentum. The consequences are visible in the way people interact in the corridors, the way they approach their tasks, and the way they speak about the future. There is a settling of the soul within the team, a sense of security that comes from knowing exactly where they stand and who is guiding them.
Internal and external transformations occur simultaneously. Internally, the leader experiences a newfound sense of peace. The mental energy that was once spent managing inconsistencies and hiding weaknesses is now available for strategic thinking and genuine connection. They no longer fear being found out because there is nothing to hide. This internal transformation radiates outward, creating an environment of high trust. Externally, the team becomes more resilient. When people know that their leader is honest and holds themselves to the same standards they expect of others, they are more willing to go the extra mile. They become more persistent, more courageous, and more committed to the collective mission. The lesson that emerges from this process is that leadership is a mirror. If a leader wants to see excellence in their team, they must first find it in themselves. If they want to see honesty, they must be the first to speak the difficult truths. This is the resolution of the narrative's main tension. The conflict between who a leader says they are and who they actually are is resolved through the intentional practice of integrity. It is not a one-time event, but a daily discipline. Each day offers a new set of choices that will either strengthen or weaken the bond of trust. The successful leader approaches these choices with a heightened sense of awareness, knowing that every action is a testament to their character. Even when the leader falls short, as all humans eventually do, the aftermath is different now. Because they have established a foundation of honesty, they can address their failures without losing their credibility. They have built a trust bank that allows them to navigate the occasional mistake with grace. The transformation is so complete that even the way the team handles its own errors changes. They move away from a culture of blame and toward a culture of accountability. They see their leader taking responsibility, and they naturally follow suit. This is the true resolution, a community of individuals who are all striving for the same standards, led by someone who is not afraid to walk the path first. As the narrative moves towards its conclusion, the focus shifts from the individual leader to the legacy they are creating. By acting according to what they say, they are not just managing a team. They are building a culture that will outlast their tenure. They are demonstrating that success is not just about the results achieved, but about the manner in which they are achieved. This insight becomes the guiding light for everything they do. They understand that their most important work is not the projects they complete or the profits they generate, but the people they influence and the standards they leave behind. The transition towards final closure is marked by a deep sense of fulfillment, knowing that they have led not just with their minds, but with their hearts and their very lives.
In the final reflection of this journey, the essence of leadership is revealed to be a simple yet profound truth. It is the alignment of one's being. To lead is to stand in the light of one's own values, ensuring that the person the world sees is the same person who exists in the quiet moments of solitude. This coherence is the source of all lasting influence. It is the reason why some leaders are forgotten as soon as they leave the room, while others leave an indelible mark on the lives they touched. The mastery of leadership is not found in complex theories or hidden strategies, but in the unwavering commitment to act according to one's word. As this story of alignment and integrity reaches its conclusion, it leaves behind a clear and compelling lesson. The world does not need more people who can speak eloquently about values. It needs people who can live them. It needs leaders in the American continent, in Europe, and in every corner of the globe who understand that their character is their most important asset. Whether leading a multinational corporation or a small family unit, the principle remains the same. Credibility is the foundation of all cooperation. Without it, the most brilliant plans will fail. With it, even the most daunting challenges can be overcome. There is a certain beauty in the simplicity of this realization. It removes the burden of having to be perfect and replaces it with the requirement of being authentic. It allows for vulnerability and for growth. It acknowledges that the path of leadership is a continuous process of self-refinement. The successful leader is not someone who never makes a mistake, but someone who is honest about their journey and who never asks more of others than they are willing to give of themselves. This is the standard of excellence that others will admire and from which they will want to learn. The final takeaway for anyone who finds themselves in a position of influence is to guard their integrity with everything they have. They must ensure that their thoughts do not contradict their words,
and that their words do not contradict their actions. This harmony is the ultimate tool in the leader's arsenal. It creates a legacy of trust that can bridge any divide and inspire any heart. As the echoes of this narrative fade, the listener is left with a single guiding question to carry forward into their own life. If their actions were the only words they ever spoke, what would they be telling the world? In the end, leadership is not something one does, it is something one is. It is the sum of every choice, every interaction, and every moment of truth. To lead with success is to live with integrity, ensuring that the legacy left behind is one of consistency, honesty, and a life well lived in service to others. This is the quiet power that transforms organizations, communities, and eventually the world itself. It begins with the decision to walk the talk, today and every day that follows.